and leadership. And there's no single one of the provincial General Assemblies of Delegates which had even a minor incident. Yeah, so before you arrive at the NPA, through these PGAs, you are able to see what is a possible outcome.
Yeah. Do you think you'll reemerge?
Well, I've not had any problem so far. Everybody else that have come to speak to me have said I need to make myself available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to also get into your story. You're such an inspirational figure.
Yeah.
Congratulations for everything you've achieved over the years.
Thank you.
You have told your story numerous times here and there.
Yeah.
But for our hustlers here, maybe getting into your youth,
Yeah.
how did you get into politics? What type of a upbringing did you have that led you into youth politics?
Well, I come from a township called Seshego, a section called Masaganing. The reason why it's called Masaganing is because the people who came to reside there, they were forcefully removed from their land, called Distening, just outside Polokwane, because they were closer to white people's area. So they had to be pushed away like any other township establishment that we came to experience. And when they were moved from their houses, they were moved into apartheid houses which had windows, and they could not afford the curtains. So they took the bags of mealie and used them as curtains. So they used masaka to close the windows. And then as a result, that place was called Masaganing. Without any role models, without any serious development, everybody else there was poor, and the most high-profile people were criminals. We have seen crime when we were young. I mean, I remember I was telling the story that there was a guy who was well-known in the area. He was a member of a gang called 21 Jump Street. He was stabbing his girlfriend, and the girlfriend was carrying the child. And then the girlfriend had to use the child to shield herself, thinking when this guy sees the child, his conscience will come back and stop. No, he was even stabbing the child. That is what we have experienced. And everybody, very few families had people who were educated. There used to be a company, I think we must do a class action against it, which used to bring, buggies to come and collect young people, called DRM, direct marketing.
Yeah.
So they collect those young people, and then they send them to go and work to distribute advertisement papers door to door. And then they were paid every Friday. So the kids had to choose whether to go to school or to go to DRM, because every Friday people are going to get paid, and those are the people who show off during the weekend. As a result, a lot of them didn't go to school, went to work for that company, and I don't know why it was directing those buggies into my section, because it didn't go to many other sections except our section. For sure, they understood that most of our people are poor there. So then I tried that thing. Well, one day, so they took me from Polokwane to Port Gietersrus at the time to go and distribute. So they gave me a long... Pipirast,
yeah.
Portis, yeah. They gave me a long street alone. So I was dancing from this side to this other side. So it was a street with houses on both sides. So I put in this house, put in the other house, as I'm going. So I thought, this street is going to end there. It's a hill. When I go up the hill, the street is still going down. I threw away those papers. And I said, no, I'm no longer going to do this thing. I stopped. And then that's how I was saved from becoming part of those people who were consumed by that distraction of direct marketing. And then from there, we went to school, like everybody else in the township. But our area was politically charged, highly charged. It had people who were in the unions, had people who were in exile, MK comrades, and were civic leaders and all of that. So they mobilized us as young kids and into what they called young pioneers. And they gave us very simple things that if they are achieved, our lives are going to change. Like our schools are going to look like the schools of white kids. Like our houses are going to be bigger with water and electricity. And our parents are going to work and own their own businesses. They will no longer have to work as domestic workers and all of that. So that was pretty much a good story that we needed to follow, that, okay, we need to defeat these guys so that we can live better than them. So that's how we developed interest. We joined that thing. They taught us poems. They taught us slogans. As we were growing up, then they started teaching us how to become marshals during ANC gatherings. We'll go with those who are going for football practice, and then we'll take a detour into the bush where we get trained on these things. And then we're not given real firearms. I mean, there were wooden firearms that were given to us to teach us how to use firearms. And we became political like that. And I was like between 9 and 10 years. And you can imagine between 9 and 10 years, it means you have never been a child. You have never had an opportunity to play as a child. And there was a year where they said, we're going to exile. And when I look at the year and now, I actually realize people were coming back from exile. So why were we going to exile? So we spent a week, if not 2 weeks, without going to school because we must keep the country. But every time we have to leave, there is an excuse that is given that someone leaked information, that the Boers have blocked, the leadership said there must be a delay. So on a second week, I decided, no, I'm going back to school. Because my mother is a domestic worker. She goes to work early hours of the morning, and she assumed I went to school. But I didn't go to school. I was part of this group that was intending to leave the country. After 2 weeks, I went to school, and were beaten properly for not coming to school. I mean, during those times, if you don't come to school, whatever the explanation, you're going to receive lashes.
There was still corporal punishment.
Yeah, corporal punishment. Yeah. So most of my guys who were with me in the group didn't go back to school because they knew the consequences. So there were two things. You're going to be beaten up there, and you must not talk. Where were you? Because if you talk that you're going to exile and what, then you sold out. Who was taking you to exile and all of that? So you had to receive your punishment and not talk. And the rest of these comrades said, we're not going there. And some of them, I still see them today, not developed, still trapped in poverty. And you've got that guilt that, but this guy quit school when we're supposed to skip the country, and that was it. And till today, he's still in that situation. So eventually, I didn't agree with those guys. So at grade 5, standard 3. So the school that I went to were wearing long pants. Because of those lashes, and I developed attitude against those teachers, I had to change and go to a school that is a bit far from my house. But the problem was that there you have to wear shorts. And for me to get shorts, I have to tell my mother that I've changed schools without her, and that was going to be a problem. So I looked for a scissor and cut those long pants and went to school there.
Yeah.
But I received prayer that, no, you came without transfer. We understand your situation. You have to bring parents, transfer. Eventually, I had to tell her, and then she had to take off, go to school, and then, of course, it was a good school. She was happy that I could find my way into the school. So everybody there was hustling, not in the sense that you guys are doing it here, which is now above board. So you see people committing criminal activities, people engaged in illegal activities. So what helped me was that my mother was very strict. I'm the only child without a father, and I grew up in my grandmother's house. She had 9 kids. I think 2 of them were out when I was growing up, and the rest of them were in that 4-roomed house. All of them had kids, a minimum of 3 each. So we're all in that space. So I grew up there, but my mother was very strict and a staunch Christian. To an extent that even my peers and some community members were very scared of her. So when these guys, my group, goes to steal somewhere or goes to commit crime or something, they will chase me away. Or go home because we don't want your mother coming after us. So if I'm not home around 5, 6, she start going around asking for me. Did you see Silo? Where is Silo? No, we saw him passing this way with some guy. She follows that. Then she disrupt the whole plan. So as a result, they said, no.
What biases?
When you must not come. That's how I escaped that thing. I've never gone to a police cells for criminality. I went for student activism. I've never been accused of any other wrong things that my peers got to be accused of. I've never smoked dagga. Because the first day I tried smoking dagga, I went home and my mother was not there, and I cooked because I was hungry. And I couldn't cook. The munchies, so I couldn't cook. I messed up the whole place. And when she walked in through the door, she was like, did you smoke that?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, Bajimos is too obvious. Why would she know I smoke? So I was thinking maybe it's showing on the face, but later I realized, no, I caused a mess. Yeah. And she was like, why would you do that? So then I said, no, I'm not going that direction. So one day my guys go, they steal alcohol in some shebeen there. Then the following day they call me, come. We went to a bush, so we drank. I started drinking alcohol with that thing, gin, mulomwampia, Gordons.
Oh, Gordons, yeah.
Mulomwampia. So I mix it. I'm better. So my grandmother's house is here. Opposite, it's a shop where we always gather as boys. So we're coming back drunk, and I know I can't go in there. So I must wait for her to sleep before I go in. But she can't sleep without me. She starts the usual thing. She starts looking for me.
Yeah.
As she comes out, I can see her. I run. When I run, I go to the other street. So I find some tree. So I thought it was so big, this tree, because I'm drunk. And then I decided to hide with that tree. You know, alcohol can make you do stupid things. So I hide. And then she just came and said, Sello, are you drunk? Hey, I didn't respond. She started crying. And I knew, okay, this is what she has been praying about all her life, that this guy must never drink alcohol, must love the church, and all of that. So that's the kind of protection I received, and I think that's what saved me. So politically then, I then arrived in the hands of old men. So I only came to socialize and do politics with my peers, like same age group in the EFF or younger. Even in the youth league, everybody else was older than me. So in the township there, when I was doing politics, young pioneers, ANC youth league courses, old people were the ones who were mentoring me, always with me. Some with cars will come fetch me from my house to go and do political activities. There was a guy called Verydarkman. There was Lawrence Mapolo, who's the chair of the EFF now. There was Thabo Magunyane. So and then there were no phones. So when I'm relaxed at home, a car will just stop, and then they say, hey, let's go. We're going to put up posters. Let's go. There's this 1, 2, 3. So I had no room now, either at home in the township. My mother is there. Even when I'm out of my comfort zone, I'm in the space of these elderly people of the ANC, who we grew up looking up to them, and we still look up to them, and we appreciate the privilege of being in their presence, because not only do you get wisdom, food is guaranteed that day. You're going to eat very well, and then there will be drinks and all of that. To an extent that some of them started taking us to social gatherings, to alcohol places, and you are there, a beautiful girl walks in, is your classmate, you are scared of her. And then Grootman says, yeah, that's your age size, go and attack, you must bring her. not for the growth man, for yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, let me go. If you are fortunate, she sits on the other side. You go and chill with her there. You don't go back. You don't tell her anything. And then when she leaves, you go back and say, no, I was fine. It was sorted. There's no problem. But you never said nothing. Because you're like, if I come back without this lady, this growth man is going to think I'm a fool.
Yeah.
And then this lady, if she turns me down, how am I going to look at her at school?
Oh,
I say again. So then that discipline brought us up. I mean, I was from, my mother never had education. She was epileptic. And she had a severe epilepsy, if there's anything of that sort, because it was too bad to an extent that you start praying for her to pass on. Like, God, why would you make this person suffer like this? So we're poor such that even the poor called us poor. So
I hope you heard everything Julius Malema said. What do you have to say? I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop your own opinion in the comment section. Let's know what you think. But most importantly, thank you for watching my videos and thank you for your support. You can subscribe and make sure that you turn on the bell. Anytime I publish a good video like this, you will get notification. See you in the next one. Peace out.